Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, How to Train Like an Athlete. If you play any sports, whether it's recreational or for a club, and you always get injured and always ask yourself why, even though I go to the gym, I train hard, and I always play my sports and I always get injured, then this video is for you. 90% of athletes follow a periodized structured program, something that you can incorporate in your training. In today's video, I'm going to help you plan your gym sessions around your competition days and your sports sessions. I'll also show you 3 different cases and what that looks like. Now, whether you're a football player, basketball player, or someone who plays a sport all year round, this guide will help you stay strong, avoid injuries, and peak when it matters. Now, first of all, you need to understand what your sport is demanding from you and how taxing that could be for your body. Now, everyone is different, so you have to listen to your body and know what that means. Usually, I categorize sports into 3 different categories. Heavy contact sports such as American football, rugby, MMA, or boxing. And then you also have contact sports like football, basketball, could be field hockey, or water polo. So you have minimal to non-contact sports like volleyball, sprinting, running, skiing, or ice skating. Let's look at football and basketball. Both are contact sports. Collide, you sprint, you jump, you get ran into, so there's a lot of external force that's coming onto your body and it might take a long time to recover. So recovery is critical and you have to learn how to manage that. If your sport is like volleyball, there's less direct collision and that could be good for you. Running is also similar. Although if you do a marathon or long distance, then you're facing endurance demands on your knees, ankles and feet. Knowing these demands shapes how you train. For example, if you play football or basketball on Monday and Friday, those are both heavy taxing days. That means the days after Monday and Friday, you can't do stuff like 1 rep maxes on a bench press, deadlift, or squats. On the other hand, people who play volleyball, tennis, or running, they can stick to a normal gym program. To know how to structure your training program, you need to understand your seasons. Normally, if you play recreational sports, then you don't technically have seasons as you play all year round. Most athletes train in seasons even if you're not pro. Let's say your main sport is football, where your season runs from October until May. You compete against teams every Saturday. From June to September, that's when you have your off season. You have no competitions at all. Normally athletes use that as a vacation. Or maybe you're a marathon runner who's got a big race in July. That race is your season. If you're a recreational athlete who doesn't play for a club, but for example you do Sunday league football or even play with friends, let's say 3 to 4 times a week, that means you don't have a true off season, so your gym plan will look different. A traditional periodized plan follows a certain structure, which is hypertrophy, strength and power, repetition or peak, and rest. For someone with an all year round schedule like recreational sports, you'd use a non-linear periodization, varying intensity and volume on a week-to-week basis instead of a month-to-month basis or a year basis. That being said, let's build a plan. Let's look at case 1, where you play football for a club, where you play once a week for a set amount of months. Now, your season could run from October to May, and your off-season will be from June to September. Now, your periodization can be broken up into 4 parts: off-season, pre-season, in-season, and post-season. Off-season is where you're going to prioritize on hypertrophy, building your muscle, building your capacity. Pre-season, where you build your strength, and that's where you transform your strength into power. Then you got in-season, that's your competition and peak. That's where you want to be the freshest and the strongest. Lastly, you got post-season, that's where you rest and recover. So let's break the in-season into phases. In October, that's your early season, where you ramp up your training. You got November to March, that's where you want to maintain your power and your game performance. That's your late season, where you taper and manage fatigue. May, that'll be your end season, where you focus on recovery and deloading. Now, in season is where you want to be fresh. So you kind of want to stay around 60 to 85% of your 1 rep max. That means you're not chasing to hit PRs, because you want to be fresh every single time you play on the field and not be fatigued and tired. Now, your off season, that's where you chase PRs if you want. That's where you can go for crazy 1 rep maxes in your squats, benches, deadlifts, or power clean. Now, an ideal periodized plan if you play sports for a club, where you have fixed match days and a fixed season and an off season, where weeks 1 to 4 would be focused around hypertrophy, so building muscle, high reps, moderate weight. Then you got weeks 5 to 8, which is more about strength, so very heavy, low reps, more power. Then you got weeks 9 to 12, which is more about strength and power, all about explosive lifts and plyometrics, as well as speed and power development. Then you got weeks 13 to 16, which is your competition or your peak. It's all about match focus, staying fresh, maintaining your athleticism. And then lastly, week 17, which is all about recovery and deloading. Let's look at marathon runner. Technically, your race is your season. Let's say that race is in July. That means August is all about post-race recovery. September is your off-season, where you work around hypertrophy. So again, building muscle, building volume, building your body. Then you got October, which is strength heavy, where you focus on hitting 1 rep maxes, hitting PRs. November, again, is your off season, where it's all about strength and light power. The tempo runs, interval, so you want to convert strength into running performance. Then you got December, which is pre-season, so strength into power. Explosive lifts, such as power clean. That's when you increase your tempo runs and your intervals. So that's where you want to focus on your running economy and your power application. Now you got January into March, which is your pre-season, where you want to work on power, longer runs, hill runs, interval. You want to prepare for race specific intensity. Then you got April to May, which is your peak race prep, and that's all about maintenance and explosive touch-ups, tapering, race specific pacing, reduce gym, and prioritize running. Then you got June, the last month before the race. That means gym will be more about recovery and running will be more about peak running performance. And then you got your race in July, where you should be at your peak, at your best, and at your freshest. The third case is an all year round athlete. So, for example, you play 3 days a week, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday. Now, your goal is to maintain your strength and power without killing your recovery. That's when you use non-linear periodization, where you vary your intensity and your focus throughout the week. So, your periodization plan will look something like this. Monday will be your recovery and mobility, where you focus on stretching, foam rolling, and light core. Tuesday could be your strength and hypertrophy, where you can focus on moderate weights, 8 to 12 reps, roughly about 80% of your 1 rep max. Wednesday will be your match, that's full match intensity. That means Thursday could be your power and explosive day, something like plyometrics, short explosive lifts. Then Friday will be your match day. That means Saturday could be all about recovery. And then you got Sunday, which is a full match day. Again, high intensity. So get a rough idea of how to build a gym plan that is based around your sport. So don't get lost. Don't try to match your gym intensity to your game demands in your season. You have to respect your off season. That's when you focus on building energy, building power, and building muscle. And then your in season is about maintaining that power, energy, and staying fresh to show up your training and your match. And then in season, that's where you want to maintain that power, speed, and agility, as well as staying fresh. And the big thing, you have to adjust your frequency. The more you compete, the more you have to prioritize recovery and quality gym training. That's your blueprint on how to balance your gym training around your sport performance. If you found this helpful, drop a like and drop a comment about your sport and what you struggle with. If you still find it hard to manage your gym training and your sport, feel free to reach out for one-to-one free coaching and we can look at it together. And subscribe for more. See you later.